Yeah, the first time I did acid, I moved away from where I worked originally, or where I lived, originally. I used to live in fucking Orlando or in Central Florida, and I moved up to North Florida, and I actually went back down to Central Florida, back to where I used to live, to stay there for a little while with some people and shit. And we ended up getting some acid from this friend that I used to have back in the day. We just pulled up into his neighborhood, got some acid. The first time I had ever taken acid, and it was the first time I ever rolled a blunt too. So I took some acid, I took some weed from my man's room, and then went into the bathroom and locked the door to roll this blunt up. And then this acid started hitting me. I start sweating real hard, and I start breathing.
Pop the square and I'm sweating. What do you call acid?
Pop the Molly, I'm sweating.
I know this was acid. What do you call a dose?
Sid, tabs, LSD.
Pop the tab and I'm sweating.
You know, Lucy. I started sweating. I rolled this blunt. We went downstairs to smoke it. Had to smoke it outside because his parents were there. I don't even know why we did all this shit because we were very young at the time. But we did not have a lighter, which is also shows how
clearly this is a white story because they're doing acid right next to their parents.
Yeah, well, we did acid before. We didn't do it at the house. We did acid in a car going to. I guess that's very white too. But we did acid in a car going to a house. And by the time and I can't really that was the first time I ever did, and I can't be around people and shit fucking. So I rolled this blunt, and it was first blunt, motherfucking probably the best blunt I ever rolled my whole damn life. I was so concentrated and I was sweating. I was sweating so hard. So we didn't have a lighter, so I took my friend's toaster, and I brought it outside because he had a plug outside. I mean, the plug was outside. Y'all feel me? He had the plug outside. So I brought the toaster outside, plugged the toaster in outside, lit the blunt off the toaster.
Wait. The toaster?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
If you didn't know, you can. And this is for some real shit. If you don't have I don't know why you would ever be smoking a blunt on acid and not have a lighter. But if that is the case, and you're watching this, it has to be at the same time. You have to be on acid, have a blunt, not have a lighter, and be watching this. And if you're watching this during that time, take a fucking toaster, push it down. Once the coils start getting hot, you take the blunt. Once the coils start to burn, you put the blunt to it, and that motherfucker will light a real quick baby, even lighting. A nice even blunt. We smoked the blunt, and then I decided to walk to my other friend's house where I was staying at, but I hadn't been back in my neighborhood in 2-3 years, so I didn't really know where I was going. I was on acid, and I was just walking through this neighborhood, and I looked behind me and it was curved, and I looked in front of me and it was curved, and I thought I was lost and shit, so I just went ski-oo, and I started going ski-oo. And then I heard in the very, very far distance, I heard a ski-oo. Thank you. And my man was there, and I walked over to the ski, and I met my man in the neighborhood just from the call we used to do back when we were kids. I'd be because we would be in the woods and we'd be fucking doing shit, because we had a bunch of woods by the crib, so we would just be in the woods climbing trees and shit. And if you lost somebody, you'd be like ski-oo, and you could just hear them go ski-oo. Anyways, I met up with him. He was with this other dude who was all fucked up. And come to find later that he was on Xanax bars and shit. Bro, Florida's crazy, man. Florida crazy. 13-year-olds on Xanax bars and shit, bro. It was like that. We talking about 2003, the same year you graduated college and started going to fucking work, man. 2003. Yeah, Seattle Supersonics was in the championship and shit. You know what I mean? Fucking, it was a great day, man. Anyways, we ended up going back to my friend's house. My friend took some acid and gave it to the kid that was on Xanax bars, and my man fell asleep. And he woke up an hour later, and when he woke up, the first thing he said was did I take acid? And my man was like, yeah, you did. And he went, cool. And he fell back asleep, and he never woke up again. And then we started playing music in his room. He started playing fucking weird shit like Bob Marley and fucking.
Wait, why that weird though?
Because man, when you on acid in a dark room with your people, and he just playing shit off the PlayStation, you know what I mean? it'd be a little weird. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a little weird, bro. He started playing like, he started playing Jimi Hendrix and fucking Rick James and shit, and I'm just like, man, this is a crazy ass day. Yeah, it was a crazy ass day, and then I fell asleep in this motherfucker's closet. Woke up the next day, probably like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. A strong 4 o'clock in the afternoon, feeling a goody two shoes, and after that, I'm here. I came from there to here. That shit was yesterday.
I know, Courtney, you weren't here for the whole story.
But it also sounds very true. Y'all, first of all, y'all are not lying. Stop telling me this. This is all true. I think the lie, that might have been your first time doing acid. Why were you asleep in the closet? I just have a lot of questions.
It's just a question.
He's like, I was asleep. Was it like a regular closet? Was it a walk-in? Was there an air mattress?
That's just where you end up sometimes.
Were you sleeping standing up? Was it a sliding door?
Because you're a pretty tall man, Patrick. You're a pretty tall man.
Came out the womb, 7 feet.
Was this a walk-in closet?
Right,
was this a regular closet?
Was it like the coat closet?
Was it a metaphorical closet? Like, what was it? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So it was like short but like long horizontally. Okay.
Was it your first time doing acid? Maybe. Did you spark the blunt in the toaster? Probably. That sounds very dangerous, but I believe it. How could you hook it up outside? Are there outlets in the outside? What's happening there? So
I don't know. I bet that's gonna be the best piece of toast you ever had. I know that much.
just a little hint of ganja on my toast.
A little hint.
Right.
Essence of ganja.
A little hint of just games, white grape. I don't know. The Swisher Diamonds. Maybe if it was backwood flavored. For your toast, if it was like on a sandwich, like the ones in the brown pack, not like the berry ones, but like that could be nice. If we want to do a cooking show, let's light it some backwoods and see how the toast comes out.
Toasted with blunts.
I'm really still thinking about this lie. I'm sorry if everyone was waiting, but I'm still thinking. Maybe the parents did the acid with you. That's adding something in. That's not a lie. I was just trying to figure out how the story could be even better. You said you walked down to your friend's house.
There's a lot of detail in that story.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think the lie is that was not your first time doing acid. I think everything else is true, but I don't think that was the first time. Or maybe you did have a lighter. Maybe the whole toaster. Because why would you have weed and you don't have no fire? That's what we need to figure out.
Inexperience, bro. Who knows? That could be a lie.
Where's the lie?
Maybe you were in Florida. Maybe you were down the street. I don't know.
He said it was yesterday.
I don't even know. I can't even tell you what the lie was. I just don't know. So whoever's not really just I'm that stoned. I wasn't here for all of it, but the friend not waking up, I just was like, I just kept going and he was dead. He was whole ass dead. Where was the ambulance?
Yeah.
Where's his parents? Where's the obituary? Like, nobody died that night.
Not the obituary.
Yeah, nobody died for sure.
Oh, y'all circled around this man after he OD'd and just like,
I'm saying, like,
I guess we'll just fucking leave him here.
It's like he died and I'm gonna go sleep in the closet. Like, what?
I mean, that's what you do, right? Right?
Yeah.
There was a lot to unpack with this story.
Definitely.
I
have some questions.
My favorite part was you were standing on the street and you said it was curved on both sides. So you were essentially in a Missy Elliott video. You know what I'm saying? You were in a real live. Not only that, you were making Timberland noises. Or whatever the fuck that was. So I'm thinking, I was like, was this motherfucker in the I Can't Stand the Rain video? Are you waiting for Timothy in the Jeep to come down the street and like, all right. But see, this is what I feel like. See, I see the thing. I know that's what you do to call out a person, but you said that's what y'all do in the woods.
On some white people shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's a very specific area where something like that would help. You know what I'm saying? It's a quiet environment, so you'd be more likely to hear something like that. So when you met your boy on the street, I don't think you met the boy on the street. You was on acid. You went to the motherfucking woods.
And that's on that.
And then he saw Anthony fucking some girl in a puddle. I don't know.
Okay, so I guess I kind of did what Anthony did too. There's a couple embellishments.
That was another lie
So I kidnapped I kidnapped the white girl. No.
That is not making it on. That is not making it on the thing.
Well, I didn't exactly like. Hey, will you grab me one of those?
For my baby daddy. He says he's thirsty. Dead. If only I opened it for him.
You stop. If only. We'll see.
Oh,
Next time. I didn't really like meet him up the same way that I said. I did meet him, but I was more in like an open place where we were supposed to meet, and I ended up getting from lost to unlost, which is really easy to do when you just find your bearings when you're on acid. You just go, okay, I'm a regular person right now, and then you go, okay, walk straight, and you'll be fine. Also, my man did wake back up and start tripping with us. He didn't just stay asleep. So, yeah, he did wake up. Like, he woke up off the acid. He said, did I take acid? And we was like, yeah. And he was like, tight. And then he just sat in the corner, loopier than a motherfucker, just the whole rest of the night, just like, goo, baby. And I did not sleep in the closet.
Oh, okay. That was believable.
So yes, I on the floor.
God, that's a big ass motherfucking closet, and you slept standing up on some military shit.
You didn't have like big rooms. Like my boy had like I think 2 or 3 siblings, so he had a small ass room. So his bed was most of the room. So we would just sleep on the floor. We were gonna sleep in the motherfuckers.
Sounds about right. All right, y'all give it up for Patrick Dalton, y'all. Patrick Dalton, y'all. There we go.